Something I've noticed in modern day Britain is that people are overly emotional, man. People won't have a decent conversation with you if they perceive your viewpoint to be different to theirs. They will react emotionally. Imagine you was to say that as a father that you want to be able to look after your family, you want to be able to protect your community against potential threats, that your family, which matters the most to you in the world, deserves a community or a country that puts safety first. Imagine you just simply expressing that viewpoint, bringing up messages like, don't worry, your turn will come next. You see, this is what worries me about modern Britain. You've got people that openly hate this place, that openly hate everything it stands for. Things that you would get away in other countries, in countries that some of these people are descended from. Things that you wouldn't be able to get away with there, you can get away with here. Just hating that country, expecting that country to accept everybody and anybody because somehow you have more in common with people from the outside than people in the actual country that you're born in. This is why when I see people become overly emotional and want to fight people, want to get aggressive over the smallest disagreement, or if they are somehow offended by something that you say, this is why I don't trust them. One of my friends before, he said to me that if someone was to violate his religion, that he would respond with violence, and never understand that sort of reasoning. My father brought me up seeing overly emotional men as a liability, as dangerous. These sort of people are quick to react with hatred. Why do you think that there is so much discontent, anger, ill will, just negative back and forth in this country? An overall feeling of distrust, an unwillingness to hear opposing views, different views. You've got unreasonable people living in this country right now. People that are quick to physically harm you for the slightest infraction, be it just verbally. Apparently, this country is supposed to allow anybody and everybody in. That is our duty. And if you say anything different, especially being black, you're the enemy, you're a coon, you're a traitor. Like being black, somehow I have to be more sympathetic to people coming into this country illegally. Imagine a place where our services are overstretched. People are struggling to pay bills. Debt is just skyrocketing. Prices skyrocketing. And you're worried about bringing more people into that cauldron, into this cauldron. How does that make sense? This just convinces me that there are a lot of foolish people in this country. But these sort of comments cannot come from people with children, regardless of your religion, your race. If you really are about your family, you are going to be very careful about the sort of people that are living next to your children, your wife. They are your prized possessions. Have you noticed that a lot of these hateful, emotional people that think your views are somehow evil because you express a concern for the way the country is going in? Have you noticed they don't have children? They tend to be single. They tend to be of a certain age, a younger age. If you came into this country the right way, doing your best, obeying the laws, and appreciate this country, you yourself wouldn't want any Tom, Dick, and Harry coming in here. Imagine you sacrificed so much to get here. It's very expensive to get here, to renew your visa, get indefinite leave to remain, and then eventually get your passport. It's very expensive to do that. So all of that sacrifice, and then you just see some people just breaking in, breaking into this country. We set them up in a hotel. We don't know who they are. They are assaulting members of the public. I remember seeing order in Britain getting chased down by illegal migrants, chasing him with big sticks, assaulting him. He had to literally fight for his life. He had to fight for his life. And the police came there and they didn't seem too concerned about him. Can you imagine people are breaking into this country because apparently they are running away from war? They need our help. And then they are now assaulting us. They are now taking advantage of us. And you've got people that are here already that are complicit in this. How are they complicit? Well, they respond to people showing concern about this matter with sentences like, don't worry, your turn will come next. I have nothing in common with these people. I have nothing in common with that person that wrote the comment. These sort of people talk about how white people are so racist. How about this? If you was to replace all white people with a predominantly Asian country, do you think that it's going to be easier for black people here? Really? I was talking about why more black people and why more people in general are considering voting for Reform, Restore in one of my previous videos. I was talking about how more black people and people in general in this country are turning to Nigel Farage's Reform Party and Rupert Lowe's Restore Party. And I saw this comment. The only way to summarize how much I dislike Farage is to say there is nothing, not a single thing I have ever witnessed him do that is likable. Disgusting, appalling behavior, through and through, lie upon lie. But of all things I dislike about him, the absolute worst is that he somehow still manages to pull the wool over your eyes. The man doesn't have a single redeeming feature. He's truly our own discounted version of Trump. If you're going to protest vote, don't do it for a party that has absolutely no chance nor intention of improving your way of life. No politician is perfect, but there's imperfect and there's overtly sociopathic. Why on earth choose the latter? People voted the Labour Party and we ended up with Keir Starmer. I don't know about you, but I see no difference between his time in office and any other prime minister's time in office in the last 15, 20 years. It's been catastrophe after catastrophe. Normal people have been suffering as a result of stupid decisions, stupid policies, stupid people running the country. And my guess is that this person likely voted for him. But I don't judge. It's your right to vote for whoever you want. This is modern politics nowadays. People are obsessed with personalities. They don't look at the policies. They don't look at what the people try and do. They just look at personalities, emotional reactions, and slogans. That's it. Really well put though. Punctuation was fantastic. I wish I could write as beautifully as that. But where is the substance? Where is the actual breakdown? Where is the policy discussion? Where is the explanation for why millions of people are drifting towards reform and restore? And yes, black people, ethnic minorities are voting them too. Tell me why. They won't. They'll just say, Farage bad. Well, listen, I can say Starmer bad. And whoever Labour want to replace him with. Have you seen the front bench in the Labour Party? I'm not trying to judge, but I would rather eat my own arm than see any of them in office. It is genuinely terrifying. Name me one thing that the Labour Party have done to help ordinary people in this country. From what I see, they've just squeezed us even more. Do you think not having a sensible energy policy is helping an everyday person? Have you seen our energy prices lately? I'm not trying to turn this into team politics. I don't care about who you voted for or what you feel about Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage is not my daddy. But how about just on this occasion, we look genuinely with an open mind about the situation that we're in this country. The Labour Party are not helping us. The Green Party, who everybody seems to be going crazy about. Have you seen their policy? What they believe in? Do you think that's right for this country? Identity politics, fiscal irresponsibility. I'm sorry, mate. You not had enough. And I don't want to make this right or left, but this is what I'm talking about. People on that side of the political spectrum are always quick to insult and resort to personal attacks. Listen, I don't care. Nigel Farage ain't my daddy. He can defend himself. But I've noticed that people that are in the middle or more on the conservative side of things, they tend to be a little bit more thoughtful in their comments. Let's compare that emotional rant to this comment. Now, I had to blank out his name because, you know, people are just genuinely disrespectful, and I don't want anybody targeting someone for making a thoughtful, poignant comment. Wage growth hasn't been in line with inflation for a long time. Now we're seeing the beginning of a new industrial age. So those two things together are very problematic. We've seen it before in history. Have a guess when? I replied to him, when? 1910 to 1930. So World War I and World War II. Especially World War II, as we saw total collapse of the social contract. Great comment. Whether you agree with him or not, at least he's discussing systems, economics, historical patterns, instability. One comment is analysis. The other comment is emotional outrage. It's mind-boggling how we see the state our country is in. I literally saw on the weekend people sword fighting in Burgess Park, broad daylight, with knives this long, right? In front of children, people just enjoying their day, having to see people trying to kill themselves in broad daylight with no regards for other people. The price of fuel, diesel, petrol, going up quickly, up and down, up and down. Apparently, there is no problem. Food prices, things in general, prices are going up. Apparently, there is no problem. A friend of mine had to go to A&E the other day. 5-hour waiting time. Apparently, there's no problem. This is crazy. You would have to be blind or just lying to yourself to realize that this is a healthy society that we live in. And it makes me wonder, what sort of people would be for this sort of country? Well, I think it's people who don't like this country. But when you're openly for evil, which I believe allowing people to come in and destroy our social fabric, our social cohesion, our democracy, to take advantage of our tolerance, of our hospitality. When you're for that, I think, man, you don't deserve to be here. History shows that societies become unstable when ordinary people feel ignored, economically squeezed, or culturally disconnected from the country around them. People throw away terms like far right so loosely, man. Do you know what the far right really is? I genuinely don't think any of them know what proper extremism looks like. Trust me. If real authoritarianism or real social collapse ever really happened, really happened, half the people throwing labels around would run behind those same strong people you've spent years mocking and belittling their genuine concerns. You can't spend 15 years labeling ordinary concerns as racist, hateful, extremist, and then act shocked when people stop listening to you. It befuddles me when people are in this country and they just show an open hatred for it. It pisses me off, man. And I'm no comic book patriot, mate. I'm just an ordinary person who appreciates that I'm not born in the whole country, and I was lucky enough for my mum to come over here and give birth to me here. Because I could have been born in a lot of other countries, those same countries that are dying to come here, those same citizens of those countries that are dying to come here. Fucking disgraceful, mate. Most people, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, whatever, mate, just want safety, stability, respect. They want the country to be somewhat unified. They want social cohesion. Any country in the world, wherever you go, they expect newcomers to show respect for that country. And if you want to stay here and become a part of this country, to appreciate the country that you're in, to appreciate the culture, the laws, the people of that country. That isn't extremism. That is normal human society. If you're black, it shouldn't make you a traitor because you want that. If you vote for reform or restore, and you abide by the laws, there is no reason to fear if they ever got in that I'd be deported, that you'd be deported. And anybody who says that is a fool. They're lying to you, being disingenuous. Like, it's crazy. Like, people don't notice what happened under Tony Blair. War. Under the Conservative Party. War. Back to the Labour Party. War. Identity politics. Social tension. Friction. Nothing works. People at each other's throats. People love to point the finger, but they don't have the ability to look at themselves, self-reflect. Too busy name calling. It's crazy because I see a reckoning coming. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. I know it's a cliche quote now, but there's a lot of truth in it, especially in today's climate. Comfortable societies often become blind to danger, blind to decline, and blind to consequences. We've become so comfortable now that people don't really see when danger is staring them right in the face. There are so many people sitting on their comfortable sofas with that high-speed internet, with your Uber Eats deliveries, with your PlayStation 5, PlayStation 6, or wherever the it is now, arguing about absolutely nothing. Arguing causes that are harmful to this country. And let me tell you something. If we was to ever witness a real collapse in this country, we would be in trouble because we are surrounded by a lot of loud fools. A country doesn't collapse when people disagree. It collapses when people refuse to listen to each other and take each other seriously. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment. I'll see you on the next one.
Lo doy a Cuca. Testosterone tiene visión, hermano. Si aquí cuesta $10 el gramo.